because of his work in finance.
It's surprising that all the times you hosted Nii Yarboi Annan, he would not come and talk about Odododiodio.
Maybe it's also because I usually say
You have not been fair to the man.
Yes. Nii, good morning, and it's nice to have you on the line.
Good morning.
How are you, Nii?
I'm doing well. I'm doing very well.
It's like the optimum time to speak to you at this time. This week, we've had a couple of conversations with the Member of Parliament. Forgive me, the Member of Parliament for Odododiodio. We've spoken to people from Odododiodio who are in support of your candidature. But it seems the party has made a decision that you are not qualified to contest the elections. I'm sure you've seen the report of the party. First, your response.
So good morning, and good morning to the people of Odododiodio. And tell my sister that it was my request at all times not to speak about Odododiodio, because I believe the national issues should be our main focus. So it wasn't you actually taking it away from me. Anyway, to the issues, I have read the reports. I have gone through it very well, and I would say that it is premised on wrong information. Probably they took information from people who deceived them to believe in certain things. I believe the report is wrong. Some conclusions within the report, I believe, is wrong. That is by far what I can say about that.
Conclusions within the report, because the report finds that they cannot, for a fact, based on the evidence they've seen, attest to the fact that you have been in the party for 4 years.
Well, so now the issue is that I got my registration and my card in 2019 September after my primaries in the NPP, and that is a fact. Nobody can change it. I was active in the party from 2019. Some of the very people leading this agenda, I can produce checks that they had to go cash for party activities far in 2018, 2019, 2020. In fact, the report had said one of the issues is that, well, I paid dues from 2017 and I did not pay dues from September 2019, blah, blah, blah. The issue is very simple. If I am joining a party, am I the one to dictate what I pay and what I don't pay? Is the administration of the party my responsibility? I paid what I was told to pay. And the party did not reject it. They took it. And it is being used against me. The other thing used against me is the fact that in my registration, the voter ID number on it was a voter ID number that belongs to 2020 and not 2019.
Yes.
That again, have they really audited all of our registers? And they will find many of such same situation. They would find others with no voter ID number on the registration. Are they not members? I have several persons that registered also in 2019 after my registration. Have they been taken out of the registration? Are their registration null and void? Or somebody knew that in 2019 I would join the party and therefore left one space for me. And like their conclusion is, that I joined in 2020, I am asking them that somebody knew that I would join the party in 2019, or I would need 2019 to stand for an elections. And therefore, a space was left and it was put in. In fact, what was the main issue that was put against me in vetting? Today, the people who vetted me in the initial vetting process we went through, I feel sorry for them. Because it's looking like they did not do their work. But I will say that they did their work well, because my adversaries were put in front of me and they had the opportunity to interrogate me, and I also had the opportunity to also put questions or otherwise. What was done in terms of the appeal process? That wasn't done. I was called on one occasion. I responded to issues. They refused to even take certain information that I had to give them. So, for me, I sit back and I watch and say that, well, this is predetermined.
Predetermined?
Yes, what is going on is predetermined.
By who? And for what reason?
Sena, very early this year, the regional chairman had called me to warn me that in the event, I've been hearing your name, but in the event that the party opens nomination, don't make an attempt to pick a nomination form.
The regional chairman tells you
Yes.
that in the event the party opens nomination, do not make an attempt to pick nomination forms.
Yes.
Why would he say that to you? And what was the reason he gave?
Well, in that same conversation, I had asked him, are you aware Honorable Nii Yarboi Annan will be contesting again? He says, well, what I am doing, he knows about it. So I just picked my phone and said, okay, then let me call Honorable Nii Yarboi Annan. And then he came in and stopped me and said, oh, don't call him. He will not contest, and in the case he doesn't contest, I have a good replacement for you. So I told him that Odododiodio is not like any other constituency. If you want to do such a thing, it must resonate with the people. I told him that day. He said, well, even if we put a cut, and he said it in Ghana, and I want to say it the same way he said it. He said in Odododiodio, Kewakalon Tepo Batomoshin, Ebawi.
Okay, so this conversation was between you and the regional chairman.
Not just me and the regional chairman. The constituency chairman was present. The women organizer was present. And one of the elders of the party within the constituency, Honorable Abose, was also part of that conversation.
You said this is a phone call, so they heard what he said.
It was not a phone call.
Okay.
It was an invitation to his office.
Oh, okay.
Yes. On the eve of my travel, I have to squeeze it to go meet him before I leave town. And this is what happened.
And he said he had a worthy replacement for Nii Yarboi Annan.
Yes. And that I should leave that with him to get a replacement for Odododiodio.
I see. Okay. I think we'll try and verify this. But in the meantime, even if that happened, and maybe you assume that the regional chairman has an issue against you. The people who sat on that committee are not people that I believe you can say the regional minister can influence, can they?
Well, I'm not saying anybody influenced anyone. That I have not said. What I am saying is that I believe that they were prejudiced. That is my feeling in terms of the decision they took. And maybe because of what other representations that were made to them. The fact was not known to me alone. In fact, in 2019, when my branch members, some of my branch members had informed Honorable Nii Yarboi Annan, the former MP for Odododiodio, about my registration, through the first chairman of the constituency, Mr. Addison, they had invited me to a meeting. I was supposed to meet himself, Uncle Smiley, the late Mr. Blankson, and Honorable Nii Yarboi Annan. And all these meetings occurred. So it was not in secret. People within the party knew about it in the constituency. All of a sudden, it is looking as if a fraud was committed to get me on the register. And therefore, if they believe so much that a fraud was committed, then I think the appropriate thing to do rather is to expunge my name from the register.
They should take out your name from the register.
If there was a fraud, and they believe there was a fraud in whatever happened, then I think that's the best thing to do. Is to expunge me from the register.
I see. That would mean that you will no longer be a member of the NDC.
Well,
properly so called.
But that is also the appropriate thing to do based on the decisions they have taken.
But they also refer to the fact that somewhere, I think in 2020, they say they have evidence that showed that you are still representing the MPP on some platforms.
Look, in the committee, they asked me about it, and I said, yes, I was on that show. On that show, the only thing they are saying that I represented it is because of the flyer that was put out. I want to ask here, Madam Obobiadaku had interviewed me severally in 2016, 2017, 2018 in TV Africa. The producer was, I think, Kakra. I was on the show, and a call came from the MPP headquarters that I do not represent the NPP. And therefore, from that time, I had always referred to myself on all shows as CEO of Object Consult. And that is verifiable. I did not create that poster. And I said some people were prejudiced because in the committee, someone asked, and you were insulting Mahama on that show, President Mahama on that show. And I was like, wow, everything I said. And Sena, do you know that poster, how I have been described?
Please help me.
Security analyst.
Which is quite an interesting description when I saw it for the first time.
Security analyst. I mean, how do I take responsibility for such a thing?
But typically when you see a poster, a flyer designed and your designation is captured wrongly, people usually reach out. Is that to suggest that I didn't see it ahead of time to get it corrected?
Sena, I did not see that poster until it showed, some people showed it up on WhatsApp platform. Before going on to the show, and Sena, you have hosted a lot of shows with me, I would always post my own flyers. I will post it on various platforms. No one, and I would even do it on my Facebook platform, no one can tell me that poster, I have pushed it out there. There have been many times I have gone on show and I've been referred to as a doctor. And based on that, I will refuse to put it anywhere or advertise it on any platform of mine. And consistently in the background, I would question it and I will ask it to be changed. I never saw that poster.
The first time you saw it was ahead of this primaries when...
Yes. When those contesting me realized that there was no way they can beat me. They brought in money and they couldn't still turn things around. They did whatever and they couldn't turn it around. Let me tell everybody and let me announce it to everybody. The days that people will refer to the people of Odododiodio, excuse my language, but I have to say it as it is. As it we walk blind, it's over. It's not going to happen any longer in Odododiodio. We will go for quality, we will go for what is best for us, and we will choose what we know will help us in Odododiodio.
I see.
We won't vote for dogs and cats.
Unfortunately, my time is up. We have to go. Do you intend to appeal this decision? Petition the party over this decision?
I have already done that.
Okay.
My lawyers have done that. And I myself have done that as well. And so, yes, I have already taken that course.
Well, Nii, we can only wish you all the best. Of course, I'm sure we'll speak about this again. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Nii Yarboi Annan. Nii is an NDC, Odododiodio NDC parliamentary candidate aspirant who was disqualified by